Emily had always believed in the promises her parents made. From the time she was 10, they spoke about her college fund like it was a sacred vault, slowly filling with every birthday check from Grandma, every little bonus from Dad's job, and even spare change Mom would toss in a jar labeled asterisk, Emily's future. Asterisk, it wasn't just money. It was a promise, a guarantee that no matter what, she could chase her dreams without worrying about tuition bills or crippling debt. Her dream was to attend Ridgeview University, a school with a stellar journalism program. She'd already been accepted, early admission, with letters of recommendation from her favorite teachers and a portfolio of articles she'd written for the school paper. All that was left was finalizing finances. But promises, Emily would soon learn, were fragile things. It was during a family dinner when everything fell apart. The table was set with her mom's usual Wednesday night casserole, but the mood fell off. Her parents kept exchanging glances, like they were building up the courage to say something. Across the table sat her cousin Megan, practically glowing with excitement, her long nails tapping against her phone screen. "Emily," her dad began, clearing his throat. "We need to talk about your college fund." Emily's fork froze halfway to her mouth. She blinked, setting it down carefully. "Okay, what about it?" Her mom smiled, too wide, too forced. "Honey, you know how much we love you, and how much we believe in family. Well, Megan's had some amazing opportunities come up. She got into that business program in California. Full ride, except for living expenses. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance for her." Emily's stomach dropped. She looked at Megan, who didn't even bother to hide her smug smile. "Okay, and?" Her dad sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "We decided to reallocate the college fund. Megan needs it more right now. You can always take out student loans. It's what most kids do anyway." For a moment, the world blurred around Emily. The sound of her mom pouring iced tea, Megan's nails clicking, the faint hum of the refrigerator, it all faded into white noise. "You gave her my college fund?" Emily's voice trembled. "Technically, it was a family fund," her mom corrected. "And Megan has a clearer future. She's going into business. Practical. Reliable. Journalism, honey, it's tough to make a living in that field." Emily stared at them, heart pounding in her ears. Practical. Reliable. Like her dreams didn't matter. Like her years of straight A's, late nights editing articles, and volunteering at the community paper were worthless. Megan leaned back, swirling her iced tea. "Don't be so dramatic, Em. Loans aren't the end of the world. Hustle culture, you know?" That broke something inside her. Emily stood, chair scraping against the floor. "Grandma helped build that fund for me. She always said it was for my future. How could you?" Her dad's face hardened. "Enough. Life isn't fair, Emily. You'll survive. We're done talking about this." Tears stung her eyes as she stormed out of the dining room. Upstairs, she threw herself on her bed, heartbroken and furious. How could they? How could they steal her future and hand it to Megan like it was nothing? For hours, she sat there, scrolling through her acceptance email from Ridgeview, rereading the words, "Asterisk, congratulations. You've been accepted to the class of 2029. Asterisk, it should have been a moment of joy." Now it felt like a cruel joke. Her phone buzzed. A text from Megan. Asterisk, thanks for the college fund, 'cause face blowing a kiss. I'll think of you while sunbathing in Cali. Maybe you can write an article about how unfair life is. Face with tears of joy, asterisk. Emily threw her phone down, chest heaving. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. But then she remembered something. Grandma's words, spoken every Christmas and birthday like a mantra. Asterisk, your future is safe, no matter what. Trust me. Asterisk. At the time, Emily had brushed it off as one of Grandma's comforting quirks, like her endless supply of butterscotch candies. But now it felt like a breadcrumb. A hint. Driven by a spark of desperate hope, Emily wiped her eyes and headed for the attic. It was dusty, filled with old boxes and forgotten memories. She rummaged through stacks of yellowing newspapers, discarded toys, and Christmas decorations until she found it, an old wooden jewelry box Grandma had always kept on her dresser. Inside, nestled beneath faded photographs, was a USB drive labeled in shaky handwriting, "For Emily, Grandma's eyes only." Her heart skipped a beat. Hands trembling, she rushed downstairs, plugged it into her laptop, and clicked on the only file inside. A video, time-stamped 2 weeks before Grandma's passing. The screen flickered, and there she was, Grandma, sitting in her favorite armchair, wrapped in her crocheted shawl, eyes sharp despite the wrinkles framing them. "Emily, sweetheart." Grandma's voice filled the room, soft yet firm. "If you're watching this, it means something's happened. Maybe they've taken what was meant for you. I always worried they might. Your parents, they mean well, but they've always seen Megan as the golden child. I saw it long ago." Emily leaned closer, breath caught in her throat. "That's why I made sure they couldn't steal everything. I had my lawyer set up a video will separate from the paperwork they saw. The college fund? That was just one part. The real inheritance, my savings, stocks, and the deed to the lake house, those are yours. Locked away until your 18th birthday." Grandma smiled, eyes twinkling despite the weight of the message. "I always told you your future is safe. Now go claim it, sweetheart. And don't let anyone tell you your dreams don't matter." The video ended, leaving Emily in stunned silence. Her 18th birthday was next week. Emily sat frozen, staring at the dark screen long after Grandma's image had faded. Her heart pounded in her chest, not just from anger, but from the flicker of hope blooming inside her. Grandma hadn't forgotten her. She'd known. She'd seen the favoritism, the unfairness, and quietly made sure Emily wouldn't be left behind. But the lake house? Stocks? Savings? That was more than Emily had ever imagined. If what Grandma said was true, it wasn't just enough for college. It was enough to secure her future, entirely independent of her parents' control. Emily didn't wait. She grabbed her phone and searched for the name mentioned at the end of the video, Richard Carmichael, ESQ, Grandma's lawyer. The office was closed for the night, but the website had an emergency contact form. Without hesitation, Emily typed, "Hi, my name is Emily Parker. My grandmother, Margaret Parker, left a video will for me, and I believe there are assets in her estate that were meant for my education. Please contact me as soon as possible. Asterisk." She hit send and sat back, chest tight with anticipation. By morning, an email waited in her inbox. Subject asterisk urgent. Estate inquiry. Dear Ms. Parker, asterisk thank you for reaching out. I'm aware of the arrangement your grandmother made. Her video will is securely filed, and the assets mentioned were placed in a protected trust, inaccessible until your 18th birthday. Since that milestone is only 5 days away, I suggest we set a meeting for the morning of your birthday to finalize the transfer. Asterisk. Please confirm availability. Best regards. Richard Carmichael, ESQ. Emily clapped a hand over her mouth, half laughing, half crying. It was real. Grandma had outsmarted everyone. The days leading up to her birthday felt surreal. Emily avoided her parents and Megan as much as possible, feigning exhaustion from school stress. Megan, of course, didn't notice. She was too busy flaunting her new future, showing off dorm decor Pinterest boards and talking about California beaches like she was already living there. Emily's mom seemed relieved by Emily's silence, mistaking it for acceptance. One evening, she even patted Emily's hand, voice full of condescension. "See, sweetie? Sometimes life redirects us for a reason. College isn't everything. Maybe you'll find a nice job nearby. Stay close to home. That would be nice, wouldn't it?" Emily bit her tongue so hard it nearly bled. Her dad chimed in from the couch, eyes still on the TV. "And once Megan settled, she can help you out. Family sticks together." Family, Emily thought bitterly. Except when it comes to my future. Finally, her birthday arrived. Emily woke early, dressed in her best business casual outfit, and caught the first bus downtown. The lawyer's office sat on the 3rd floor of a sleek, glass building, a sharp contrast to the cozy warmth she remembered from Grandma's house. Mr. Carmichael was an older man with silver hair and sharp eyes that softened when he saw her. "Happy birthday, Miss Parker," he said, extending a hand. I've been waiting for this day. Your grandmother was a remarkable woman. Emily smiled, heart aching with gratitude. She really was. They sat down, and he slid a thick folder across the table. This, he began, contains the full documentation of your inheritance. Your grandmother's video will wasn't just sentimental, it was legally binding. She placed her remaining savings, $180,000, in a protected trust under your name. Additionally, her investment portfolio, currently valued at approximately $320,000, transfers to you today. Emily's mouth fell open. Over $500,000? Mr. Carmichael nodded.
Yes.
And, of course, the lake house. That deed transfers immediately. Your parents never knew about these assets because your grandmother kept them entirely separate from the family's joint accounts. Emily blinked rapidly, trying to process the weight of it all. Not just money. Freedom. Security. A future untouched by her parents' favoritism. I don't know what to say. He smiled. Say thank you to your grandmother by living the life she wanted for you. Emily signed the papers with a steady hand. When she walked out of the office, she wasn't just a high school senior with crushed dreams. She was a young woman with power. But there was one more thing to do. That evening, her parents threw a small birthday dinner for her. More out of obligation than genuine celebration. Megan, as always, dominated the conversation. I just got my housing assignment, Megan bragged, showing off her phone. Top floor, ocean view. All thanks to you guys for helping with the expenses. Can't imagine being stuck in some community college dorm like. She glanced at Emily, smirking. Emily set down her fork. Actually, I won't be going to community college. Her mom frowned. Honey, we've been over this. Without the fund, you can't afford. I don't need the fund, Emily interrupted, voice calm and clear. Grandma made sure of that. Her real will, the one you didn't know about, transferred her savings, investments, and the lake house to me. I met with her lawyer today. Everything's already in my name. Silence. Her dad's fork clattered against his plate. What? Megan's face twisted with confusion. That's impossible. Grandma didn't have that kind of money. Emily smiled coldly.
She did.
She just didn't trust you or them with it. She gestured at her parents. The lake house? I'm selling it. That alone will cover my tuition and more. Ridgeview's already confirmed my enrollment. Her mom's face paled. Emily, wait. That house, it's the family's vacation home. We've made so many memories there. Funny, Emily said, tilting her head. You didn't seem concerned about my memories when you gave away my college fund. Besides, it's mine now, just like Grandma wanted. Megan slammed her phone down. This isn't fair. Emily stood, calm and resolute. Life isn't fair. You'll survive. Isn't that what you told me? With that, she walked away, leaving them speechless. The power shift was complete. Grandma had made sure of it. The house was eerily quiet the next morning. Emily woke up to the faint sound of her mom pacing downstairs, the soft murmur of her parents arguing in hushed tones. It didn't take a genius to figure out what they were discussing. She stretched, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. The weight of betrayal had been replaced with something far more satisfying: control. Grandma had given her the means to reclaim her future, and Emily intended to make every moment count. By the time she headed down for breakfast, her dad was already sitting at the table, arms crossed, face hard. We need to talk, he said, voice clipped. Emily poured herself a cup of coffee, deliberately calm.
About what?
Her mom wrung her hands. Honey, this whole inheritance thing. It's complicated. Your grandmother wasn't in her right mind when she made those arrangements. She didn't understand how hard things are for us. Emily raised an eyebrow. She seemed perfectly clear in the video will. She knew what she was doing. Protecting me. Her dad slammed his hand on the table, making her jump. Don't get smart with us, Emily. That money could help the family. We're drowning in bills. And Megan, she's counting on us. Are you really going to let your cousin struggle while you sit on a fortune? Emily set down her mug, keeping her expression neutral. You didn't mind watching me struggle when you handed her my college fund. Why should I feel any different now? Her mom's eyes filled with tears. It's not the same, sweetheart. We didn't have a choice. Families sacrifices for each other. Emily leaned forward, voice steady. You're right. Family does sacrifice for each other. But you didn't sacrifice for me. You sacrificed me. You chose Megan's dreams over mine. Grandma saw it coming. That's why she did what she did. Her dad's face turned red, veins bulging at his temples. You're being selfish. This money could save us from losing the house. Emily blinked. Funny. You didn't mention the house when you drained my fund. Just Megan's bright future. Silence stretched between them. Her parents exchanged looks. Desperate, pleading. It almost made Emily feel guilty. Almost. But then she remembered the humiliation, the betrayal, the smug texts from Megan. I'm not heartless, Emily said finally. I'll pay my own way through college, like Grandma wanted. I'll even hold off on selling the lake house for now. But the rest? It stays with me. I'm not bailing you out because you gambled on the wrong golden child. Her mom burst into tears, and her dad stood so quickly his chair scraped against the floor. Without another word, he stormed out the back door, leaving Emily alone with her sobbing mother. Emily, please, her mom whispered. We're your parents. We did everything for you. Emily's chest tightened, but she stood her ground. If you really believed that, you'd never have taken what was mine. She turned and walked away, coffee cup in hand, heart pounding but head held high. Later that afternoon, Megan cornered her in the hallway. Really, Emily? You're actually keeping all that money? After everything our family has done for you? Emily chuckled bitterly. You mean after everything they took from me? Spare me, Megan. You're not the victim here. Megan's face twisted with fury. You'll regret this. When you're drowning in student loans and begging for help, don't come crying to us. Emily smiled, calm and unshaken. I won't be drowning in anything, Megan. Grandma made sure of that. Enjoy California. I hear it's expensive. Megan's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. Without another word, she spun on her heel and stormed off. The next few weeks flew by. Emily finalized her enrollment at Ridgeview, paid her tuition in full, and even secured an off-campus apartment, far from home, far from the toxic environment her parents had created. One evening, while packing, she stumbled across another envelope tucked inside the jewelry box where she'd found the USB. It was sealed with Grandma's familiar, shaky handwriting, for Emily's eyes only. Heart pounding, she opened it and unfolded the letter inside. My dearest Emily, asterisk if you're reading this, then you've already discovered what I did for you. I'm sure it wasn't easy, and I'm sorry you had to face the truth about your parents and Megan. But I always knew you were stronger than they gave you credit for. Asterisk. Asterisk the money, the lake house, they're tools, not solutions. The real gift I'm leaving you is freedom. Freedom to chase your dreams, to build a life on your own terms, without being beholden to anyone who doesn't value you. Asterisk. Asterisk, don't let guilt weigh you down. You earned this. You deserved it. And you'll make me proud, no matter where life takes you. Asterisk. Love always. Grandma. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. She folded the letter carefully, holding it to her chest. For the first time in months, she felt truly free. Emily spent the next few days finalizing her move. Her Ridgeview acceptance packet lay on her desk, alongside the deed to the lake house and her newly issued trust account statement. It still didn't feel entirely real. $500,000, complete independence, and the chance to live life on her own terms. Her parents had retreated into stony silence, the warmth once shared in their home replaced by a tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Her mom tried once more, cornering her as Emily packed up her clothes. Emily, she began, voice soft, almost pleading. Are you really going to leave like this? Turn your back on your family? Emily glanced up, folding a sweater. You turned your back on me the moment you gave away my college fund. I'm just following the path you chose. Her mom flinched. But we're struggling, honey. Your dad's hours got cut and Megan. Emily held up a hand. Stop. Megan got my fund. She got the future you thought was more important than mine. I'm not paying for her mistakes or yours. I'm done being the sacrifice. Her mom's face crumpled, but Emily felt nothing but exhaustion. She'd spent enough time begging for love that was conditional on her silence. I'm moving into my apartment tomorrow, Emily continued, voice firm. You'll be fine. You always prioritize Megan. Let her return the favor. Her mom's tears didn't move her. Not this time. The next morning, Emily loaded the last of her boxes into her car. Her dad stood by the porch, arms crossed, face like stone. You think you're so smart, don't you? He muttered. Turning your back on family. That money won't last forever. You'll come crawling back. Emily smiled faintly. Maybe. But at least when I do, it'll be on my terms, not as your backup plan. She climbed into the driver's seat and pulled out of the driveway without looking back. Her new apartment was small but cozy, with big windows that filled the space with light. Ridgeview was just a 10-minute walk away, and for the first time in her life, Emily felt like she was truly in control. That first night, she sat on the floor with takeout containers spread around her and her laptop open to her Ridgeview student portal. As she scrolled through her course schedule, environmental science, creative writing, and economics, a notification popped up from her trust account. Deposit confirmed, $14,000, quarterly investment yield. Emily blinked. Grandma's investments were still growing, generating passive income while she focused on her education. Her phone buzzed. A text from Megan. Megan ****, I can't believe you're actually doing this. Mom's a wreck. Dad's furious. Thanks for abandoning us. ***. Emily stared at the message for a moment, then typed back. Emily ****, I didn't abandon anyone. You did, the moment you took what was mine. Enjoy California, ***. She hit send, blocked Megan's number, and exhaled deeply. A week later, Emily made the trip to the lake house. It sat peacefully by the water, the same as she remembered from childhood summers. But now it was hers. She walked through the house slowly, running her fingers along familiar walls, old picture frames, and sunlit windows. Memories flooded back. Grandma teaching her how to bake cookies in a tiny kitchen, lazy afternoons reading on the porch swing, stargazing by the dock. In the living room, she found another envelope, yellowed with age, but clearly labeled, Final Gift. With shaky hands, she opened it. My sweet Emily. If you're here, it means you've stepped into your future. This house was always meant to be yours, not just as a place, but as a reminder that you deserve more than leftovers and broken promises. Sell it if you must. Or keep it and build new memories. Just promise me one thing. Never let anyone dim your light again. You are worth the world. All my love, always.
Grandma.
Tears slipped down Emily's cheeks. She sat on the floor, letter clutched in her hand, and watched the sun set over the lake. For the first time in her life, she wasn't the forgotten child. She was the one holding the cards, the one choosing her path. And she was finally beautifully free.